Okay, Chapter 4, Kinesiology 101, Social Wellness. So today we're going to talk about social wellness, and you'll find that social wellness, exactly what you think social wellness is. It's your surroundings, it's your community, and how do you become more aware of your importance in the society and in your everyday life. Social wellness has to do with your attitude. So what is your attitude each day? What is your attitude towards others? What is your attitude towards work? What is your attitude towards, you name it, okay? An attitude is developed over time. It's exposure to various environmental factors. It shapes who you are, shapes your outlook on life, shapes your potential for success. Our attitudes are shaped a lot by where we come from, our experiences, things that we've done in our past, people that we've known, people that are close to us, people that have had a lot of influence on us. Also, what's then formed and helps to form that attitude is your personality. Myers-Briggs personality has 4 dimensions: extroversion or introversion, sensing or intuitive, thinking or feeling, judging or perceptive. These 4 dimensions make up and look at different personalities. What's important to realize is that our personality some would say you're born with particular personalities or you're born with certain traits. There's no doubt that that's the case. But at the same time, too, most of what we learn as well is from the environment that we grew up in and how we are socially going through everyday life. Okay? A big part of that is our communication. In communication, there's 2 sides. There's a sender and then there's a listener. Many of us are very apt to be senders. We're not necessarily good listeners, okay? The process is interactive. We act as both the sender and the receiver or listener, verbally and non-verbally, and we'll talk a little bit about both. When we look at communication, the biggest part of becoming a good communicator, as I said before, is becoming a good listener. And that's oftentimes where a lot of us fall short. No doubt I had to become and had to evolve to be a better listener, and probably still not a good enough listener, especially if you might ask my wife. But communication and strategies becoming a good listener, there are some things you can do. Listen, don't talk. It's very hard sometimes just to shut up, right? Just to be quiet. And sometimes that's what you have to do. I love the second one here. Beware of non-verbal messages you send while listening, okay? Don't interrupt. Respond in a non-judgmental manner. Respond to sender's feelings as well as his or her words. Okay. Strategies to become a better sender. Take responsibilities for ideas and feelings. Use I messages to get your point across without blaming, criticizing, or making personal attacks upon your listener. Be aware of your nonverbal messages, whether they are the tone of your voice, your body language, or avoiding eye contact. These are huge, huge. Nonverbal communication. 90% of communication is nonverbal because human body language often communicates stronger and truer messages than spoken languages. This is absolutely true. One of the biggest battles we've faced during the pandemic is mask coverings, because mask coverings, they cover our expressions a lot of times. You know, the first one here, smile. We can't see anybody smile, right? You can't see what somebody's thinking by looking at how they're, you know, whether they're smiling, whether they're frowning, what kind of facial expression they have is very important to the communication. There's a saying that I heard one time, and I think it's absolutely true. Body language doesn't whisper, it screams. Body language doesn't whisper, it screams. There's no doubt that that's the case. Barriers to communication: distractedness, phones. Maybe you've had a parent at one point in time when you were younger say to you, put down your phone and listen to me. Okay, stereotyping, emotional blocks, past experiences. Becoming aware of some of these common irrational beliefs that lead to negative self-talk can also help you avoid some poor communication. The idea that you have to be perfect, need for approval of everyone, or thinking that's always the way it is. Becoming aware again, you made me feel that way. Okay. These are all different things that we deal with and we have to be aware of when we're talking about communication. Okay, these are rational beliefs. There are several different kinds of communication styles. Which of these describes you best? I can tell you right now, I am not passive. I am probably assertive, maybe even at times aggressive, which is not necessarily a great thing. But I'm certainly assertive. Speaks for self and others. Do you do that? Loud and angry, firm and strong, weak, quiet, childlike. I'm definitely on the assertive side here. Use good eye contact, relax, uses gestures, face matches mood, confident appearance. That's the body language. If you've watched these videos, you've seen I can't talk without these. I am very much someone who talks with their hands. It's important to know which type of a communicator you are. There are good and bad with all of them. Why does the assertive approach result in better open communication, better relationships? It allows us to express our feelings, needs, opinions, or preferences in a directed and honest manner. It does not allow for threatening, harming, putting down, or manipulating others. This style does not guarantee that our needs and wishes will always be met, but ensures that we have expressed those needs in an appropriate manner. Let's talk about civility, because there's no doubt in the realm of communication through social media, the written word, verbal, nonverbal, civility sometimes can't be found. Civility's complex, as we say here. It's good. Civility belongs to the realm of ethics. We'll talk about ethics. Civility is a form of goodness. Okay, being civil is important. And I wish we had more civil communication. Dr. Mahoney's research that he did, you'll notice these rules of considerate conduct are as follows. Considerate people and civil people, civil communicators, they do the following. They do the following. Okay. There's also what we refer to as civil space. Okay. Civil space is the physical space created around a person, department, or an organization practicing civility. So what do they make that feel like? Some people treat other people with a profound lack of respect when it comes to this incivility, right? Harassment and so forth. Behaviors that create uncivil space are as follows. And you can look at this graph, but any unwanted communication, any unwanted type of comments towards a person that are not constructive in nature, okay? These are an abuse of power. And oftentimes this uncivil space, we often now think about things like, you know, the U2 movement and we think about all of the or the Me Too movement, sorry, and all the different things that we're dealing with in terms of workplace harassment or sexual harassment or you know, bullying. All these are uncivil space examples. So when we look at this continuum of behavior, civil behavior is speaking kindly, not speaking ill of people, accept responsibilities, apologize and praise, and so forth. Then you go to the other side, powerful joking, exclusion, threats, intimidation. That's uncivil behavior. One part, or one thing that kind of surrounds communication and civility and social wellness is multiculturalism and diversity. Valuing diversity, understanding we live in a multicultural world. Whether some people want to understand that or not, we do. There's challenges because of that. There's challenges that we have, and we're certainly seeing some of that going on today. Valuing diversities and developing competencies. In other words, don't only value diversity, but develop and some understanding of the different cultures that you might come into contact with. Prejudice is a negative attitude towards members of some distinct group. Discrimination is negative actions toward another person. We could get into whether or not hate speech or things like that or should be legislated, or whether hateful thoughts can be legislated. That's a whole nother discussion. The important thing is to realize that you're in a society that has a multicultural view and a diverse view, because we're all not the same. To begin combating prejudice and discrimination, become aware of your own prejudices and their origins. Educate yourself about customs, beliefs, and others. Challenge others' prejudicial statements. Be open-minded, ask questions, and listen. Part of communication and part of our social wellness is the relationships that we make. It includes what we learn about ourselves and how we view our values and beliefs. Friendships involve trust and support. Beyond this, we all have different ideas about what is important in a friendship. Okay? Positive relationships with others is important to developing a healthy social wellness. Loving, caring, honesty, trust, loyalty, mutual support, and so forth. Relationships. How can you ever expect anyone else to enjoy your company if you don't enjoy your own company? So the first thing we have to do is talk about our self-esteem. Do we enjoy ourselves? Are we happy with our actions and how we and our attitudes and how we communicate?